Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to be watching back through the recorded time-lapse of a drawing I did of Makoto from Persona 5. And I'm going to be talking about the whole process and what it was like and how I approached it. So, let's begin. So, as you can see, I started with a line of action and a basic, loose idea of what pose I was going to do. Just a quick scribble of the pose I wanted. It seems like I had an idea going into this drawing, sort of knowing like exactly the pose I wanted, so good start. And here I am detailing all of her clothes. The outfit that she's wearing is her dance outfit in one of the Persona 5 costume packs. I believe they made specific costumes for the Persona 5 characters, but like based on the Persona 4 dancing game, something like that. But yeah, they gave her a really cute costume in Persona 5, so that is what I am drawing her in. It has a lot of little details, like her shoes are very specific. She's got like a lot of bangles and stuff on her wrists, if I'm correct. But yeah, there's a lot of specific details to draw in that are quite complicated. Laces on shoes. I just saw me trying to attempt the laces on the shoes, but I gave up and stopped. Laces on shoes always is so tedious to draw. Yeah, the lasers have kind of a crisscross pattern. They actually remind me of Chun-Li's shoes. Like, she has big boots with like laces going up them as well. So here I am neatening up my initial sketch. The way I've drawn the face is quite different from the finished drawing. Maybe I'm just testing. I think that little text there was me writing like, oh, this is a test for the line art. I think I wasn't sure what approach I was gonna go with the final line art, so I was probably doing some tests before committing. Here I am doing a neater version of the hair, I guess. I don't think I've settled on the sketch enough to wanna do the line art just yet. Oh, you can see there I angled her head a bit higher, which makes sense because I've kind of drawn her kind of from a low angle. It's definitely not a high angle, so it kind of would make sense for her head to be looking up a little bit. So here I am just doing extra details on the laces. I probably hadn't. Oh, that's what was going on. I hadn't figured out the angle of her foot there, because she's lifting it up, but like it's leaning away from us. So I was kind of like, how would the angle of this look? I remember struggling with this a lot, as you can see. Here I am neatening up the overall sketch, I guess. I like to have my sketch very neat before I go into doing the line art. I like knowing exactly what I'm doing. I know a lot of people like to kind of fix the sketch during the line art stage. They prefer that, and keeping the sketch loose. They're more confident than I am, I guess, is the reason why there. So here I am drawing in the patterns of her top. It has this really detailed star/striped pattern. It's like, yeah, a bunch of stars and then a bunch of stripes going inwards. Yeah, I wanted to get that right, so I made a sort of plan, like a rough separate plan for those stars, so I could do them correctly. So here I am neatening up her hands and gloves, just really knowing what shape I'm going for. I'm very like that with my drawing. I like knowing exactly kind of the shape I'm going for every little thing. I have a very perfectionist mindset like that. Like, I want to know exactly how the shape of this hair strand is going to be or whatever before settling on the sketch. But yeah, I kind of am just going over everything. There you can see I'm changing slightly how the hair is sitting, just into a shape that I find nicer. Still neatening up the sketch. Lots of neatening in this one. Oh yeah, and she has kind of a fishnet opening at the top of her top. So I was drawing that in. Drawing in the bangles and figuring out exactly what angle I want them to, how I want them to sit on her arm. To be nice to myself for a bit though, this is one of those drawings that I look back on and I'm like, how did I do this as well as I did? Like, I've done drawings after this and I'm like, I'm not achieving the same, like, I'm not, this drawing isn't as good as that Makoto drawing. How did I do that Makoto drawing? How did I make it look so good? Not just the, the drawing itself, but like the way it was colored and the finalized look and everything. I don't really know how I pulled it off. And that's kind of rare for me because I often look back at my drawings and think like, oh, what was I doing there? But with this one, I'm quite proud of it. There are things I would change, but overall, I am very happy with it still. Wait a minute! I just realized maybe this is the final line art. Maybe this isn't the Niijima sketch. Maybe this is actually the line art. It could be. That must be why I'm obsessing over the details so much. This must be the final line art. Right. I didn't even realize I was doing the line art itself. So here I am going over the stars to finalize them. And going over the text on her clothing. Drawing in like graphic design on like clothing of characters is very difficult for me. I have to really plan out like the spacing of everything and how everything is aligned and stuff before I can do the final lines. So here I am adding in some line weight, as you can see. It's kind of subtle, but yeah, here and there in the drawing, I'm thickening the line work. I think this is one of the things that I think I would do if I could go back to this drawing, which I won't. But if I did, I think this is one of the things that I would do a bit better. I think overall the line weight inclusions are nice, but there are some spots here and there where I would have done it differently, or maybe not even chose to do it there at all. Just some slight adjustments on my approach on the line weight. But overall it does look nice. Here I am being very particular with the hair shape. I'm really messing around with it. I have a very perfectionist mindset, as you can see. Lots of fiddling with every little thing. Even though my drawings are probably quite simple compared to a lot of artists and illustrators, I am very particular about my details. It probably doesn't come off just looking at the final drawing because you're not seeing the whole process, but as you can see, I'm very particular about every little thing. It's almost like you can't tell what what I'm changing on the drawing because it's such a minute detail. So here's something I wasn't really sure about my plan on. I wasn't sure if I was going to give it like, a bit of a background, or if I was just going to keep it with a white background, or not. But as you can see, I'm kind of playing around with ideas here for that. I was gonna do a sort of shattered rectangle kind of thing in red initially. I really didn't have a clue of what I was gonna do, but I do remember playing around with this a lot. This idea of this shattered rectangle backdrop kind of thing, which I did not settle on in the end. Here I am plotting out the colors and the idea for how I'm going to shade it, plotting in some ideas for highlights, just kind of playing around with how I'm going to where I'm going to place the highlights in the drawing. I think in the end I didn't go with highlights on the skirt, even though I'm playing around with it right now, but I might have, I don't remember. You know, something I just remembered, at this point I didn't know anything about like layer modes, you know, like multiply and all, and like hard light and soft light and all that. So all of these colors that I'm choosing are actually my own color choices, like the color I'm choosing for shading her skin and her skirt and everything, like they are that is the specific color that I chose. So yeah, I guess at this point I've settled on what colors I'm using, so I'm properly coloring in the drawing now. I heard somewhere that, well, I've heard from a few different people that it is a good idea to color while setting the background to grey. I'm not actually sure how much it helps me or not, but I guess I went for that approach for this one. Adding in the shading, the finalized shading, that is. My color choices are pretty good with this drawing. I'm very bad at choosing colors. I often have to. It's often a very trial and error sort of process with me when I'm coloring, and I'm sure it was here too. But it looks like I've settled on them quicker than I usually do, which is nice. Man, I'm still really happy with this drawing. It's a good drawing. I'm glad I did my best girl from Persona 5 justice. Justice! Fists of justice! Anyway, so like I said, because I didn't know anything about like layer modes, I'm specifically shading in over the stars and over the top itself in different colors, if that makes sense. So I was trying to be very neat and particular there, which is why I was switching on and off layers a lot. Oh, here we go, I'm adding in some sweat drops, add a bit of extra hotness to the drawing. Maybe she's just finished doing a dance. I wasn't really thinking about the context of the drawing, I was just like, oh, this pose is cute. Oh, so yeah, initially I had completed the drawing like this, but then I remember coming back to it a bit later and changing it slightly. But yeah, at this point I'm like, this is a complete drawing, it's finished. But then, yeah, here, I decided to add in halftone sort of pattern on the purple block behind her, which I think worked really well. That looks really nice. Adding in some highlights here and there, which I didn't settle on. But there we go, there's the finished drawing. Makoto, Niijima.